So you need two of the contrast color and 2 of this color and 4 of this color, I think. Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Welcome to episode 132 of the Love and Stitches podcast. As you can tell, we're somewhere different today, and just a disclaimer, I know that the noise is probably going to be a little bit different today with background noise and stuff. I've tried to quiet as much as I can. I've got my little microphone. I brought my microphone that I haven't used in years today. So hopefully this all helps, but I did hear a neighbor, he's like several houses down, get out his, actually, I don't know what it's called, trimmer thing. Anyway, so there's going to be some background noise today, but I simply couldn't resist coming outside and filming by the pool. So we are in Orlando, Florida, visiting my mother-in-law and brother-in-law this week. We've gone to Disney. I'm going to share more about that later. But I just could not resist. I mean, let me check the weather really quickly. It is 63 degrees right now, so it just feels amazing outside. It's about 10:30, I think, in the morning, 10:40. I've just made a second cup of coffee. I'm gonna be drinking on that, and it feels so nice out. I put on my little Disney snack shirt for today because we've been going to Disney on this trip, and I have lots to share with you. We're actually heading back home tomorrow, but tomorrow is Wednesday and I will be in the car literally all day. So I wanted to get this recorded before we left. And again, I just have so much to show. So let's just get started. I actually have a couple of finished objects with me here. Hope you enjoy the background and all of that. I think it's pretty cool. Actually, wait, let's make this like a little slightly taller there. Toaster is outside with me too. He loves to be in this pool area. You can see it's like screened in. So it's really nice that he can just wander around without worrying about him like getting out into the neighborhood. So as long as he behaves, he's going to stay out here with us. You may see him walk around behind me a little bit. Okay, first finished object, because I have two. I finally finished my Castle at Night socks. You can tell that they're not blocked. I didn't bring any blocking materials with me or sock blockers or anything. So I'm going to do that when I get home. And I probably will show my two finished projects just briefly next week. Some birds for you. So these were from Sockmas 2021. Oh, you know what? I totally brought with me the labels for this yarn. Like I thought ahead to do that, but then I forgot to grab them out of my suitcase just now. So I apologize for that, but I do have the project pages linked and the yarn. So this is Mountain Mist yarn, all 3 colors. And this was the main skein, and it came with actually 3 different minis. I just chose to use 2 of them. But I think these turned out really, really cute. I just made these for myself and I finished them on the way down here to Florida. I had gotten so close, I thought I might even finish them before we left, but I didn't. So I finished one of these in the car. I'm not sure. All the ends are woven in. They are just completely ready to be blocked. I knit over a lot of my ends, which was nice. I did my nice favorite stretchy bind off here. So I'm excited to have these to wear. I don't think they're too Christmassy that I couldn't wear them like right away. So I am so happy to have them done. I still have it in my Christmas bag. And I think that I will add, like I have so much left over, so I'll probably split this up, but I think I will add it into my granny stripe blanket eventually when I get back home. That did not travel with me either. Okay. Next up, I have another finished object. Oh, by the way, this is the first podcast of March. So I'm going to be talking about plans and dreams for the month later on in the podcast. And also I kind of try to finish up things by the end of February. So I have, I think, more finished objects than usual and more new projects than usual. Okay, here's another finished object. Just yesterday on February 28th, today is March 1st, I finished my All Together Now cowl. This is by Jamie Lomax, and my yarn is Moonglow Yarn Company Love and Stitches Fade Set, plus this one is Cottonwood Breeze, all linked in the project page. But I did the fingering weight tapered version. You can just kind of see that from the bottom to the top, it narrows a little bit. I think it turned out so great. I actually did a lot since last week. That Mickey is where I was last time I recorded, and so I got a lot done. I don't know if I can try this on without bumping my microphone, so I will save it. I'm gonna block, weave it on the ends. Most of them I've knit over, but weave in the ends that I haven't. Block it. Hopefully that will fix all the like curling with the ribbing and stuff. I would say if I make this again, I'd probably go down. There goes Toaster. I'd probably go down a needle size on the ribbing. It wasn't suggested in the pattern, but I think that would help. Toaster. Oh, can y'all see? There's a cat. I don't know where it is in the camera, but there's a cat like somewhere over here going by. If this podcast is... Toaster, come here, buddy. Toaster. It's okay, bud. If this podcast is a little hard to listen to, I completely understand. I'll be back next week in regular circumstances, but just couldn't pass up this opportunity. You okay, buddy? Come here. Told him he couldn't stay out here if he keeps barking, so. Okay, so that's all of my finished objects. I finished the socks, I finished the cowl, and I have some new projects. So I don't remember. Had I started this last week? Hold on, let me check. No, I think I had just finished my swatch last week. So I have a new sweater on the needles. Hasn't gotten a lot of love here in Florida. I did work on it on the road trip down, but it's in my beautiful sparkly black pearl magic bag. So unzip that. So I am making this, well, okay, all my projects are pretty much going to be from stash this year, but this is from like stash that got like, I tried to use it for other sweaters and then it got like torn out, and then anyway, it's stash that's like leftovers and wound skeins, so it feels a little bit different than just like my fresh skeins of stash. So I'm gonna be really happy once this yarn is used up, because I've loved this yarn for so long and I'm ready to actually put it to use. So here is the start of my prismatic sweater. Doesn't look like much yet, but I've actually just finished the last round of increases in like this plain part, and then the next round of increases is happening in the color work. So this is a color work sweater. It's just got color work, like a band of color work, mostly two colors, because this is the main color, and then my other two colors are, hang on, I've got it over here. I like to keep like the yarn that I'm not using separate from my project bag so things don't get all tangled up when I can. So I just have the rest of it in like a plastic bag that the yarn has been in for forever. So these are my other two colors. The pink is kind of blowing out there. It's a really nice pink. So this is leftover. Both of these are leftover from Shawlography. So I have like 60 grams or something. I have just enough. And then this one I actually have a ton of yarn. It's one of those massive Miss Babs Yowza, or not Yowza, Yowza's the worsted weight, Katahdin. It's a massive skein of fingering weight yarn, like 1,600 yards. So I just wound off some to use for the sweater. So I've got plenty. Actually, I guess I'll add that in to my project bag because I'm about to use it. And since I finished some of my other projects, I get to work on this one tonight when we're hanging out. So I'm really excited about that. But I had some problems with the sweater because I was not reading the chart correctly. So just in case you're going to make this sweater, here is what I learned about lifted increases in a chart. So a lifted increase is where you go into the row below and you pick up basically half of a stitch and knit into it, and it lifts that stitch up and adds a new stitch. You can do this on the right side of a stitch or the left side of the stitch. I've done these increases before. They're really great because they're nice and smooth. In fact, I like to use them in my socks now, but I had never seen it charted. And so without giving, I don't think this gives anything away because this is just like a stitch. Like, this would be the equivalent of me telling you that like a dot in a chart means purl, like basically. So in the chart, it had like an M for make one, and then it said the M increase is a lifted increase, but it didn't say which way, like right or left. And so I decided that since the M was to the left of my knit stitches, I would do the lifted increase left. And in my head, the lifted increase included knitting the stitch. Now, if this is new, like a new stitch for you, this is probably not going to make a lot of sense, but basically there was 2 knit stitches and then an M. So I was reading it as knit 2, knit 1, and then lift the stitch. Knit 2 more, knit 1, and lift the stitch. So basically I was having 3 stitches in between my increases when I was supposed to just have 2 stitches in between. It took me 3 times ripping out that row to figure it out. So just a warning, if you are making that pattern, the make one increase is just the lifting of the stitch, not the knitting of the stitch too. So yeah, it took me a while to figure that out. And actually what I also did is I went on Ravelry to the project page and looked at like comments and questions to see if anyone had asked that question, because I was confused about it. And I figured I would check public spaces before contacting the designer. And somebody had asked that question. They said, which lifted increase? And the designer said either one works, which didn't really help me in this situation because I was like, well, I don't understand how many stitches to put in between. But you know what? I figured it out, and now I know. I didn't have to ask, so I feel good about that. I don't know. I feel like I always try to figure things out on my own before I ask, but if I couldn't figure it out, I would have had no problem asking the designer. And same for you if you're working one of my patterns. If you look in public spaces and can't find the answer, like, it doesn't bother me one bit. If you send me an email and ask me questions, I'm always happy to help. So there we go. I am working my way through. I did all of this like in the car and when I met up with my friends knitting and, here in Florida. And so now I'm just really excited to get it started on the color work. I just stopped it because I'm literally on the color work next. So that's one new project. I have two finished objects and 2 new projects. And here I was thinking that I didn't knit that much this past week. I really felt like I didn't, and looking at it now, I've done quite a bit. So I started a new pair of socks because I just needed something to use around Disney. I'm not feeling socks this year. Like, I'm just not as interested for socks as a leisurely project. I'm kind of feeling hats, but I knew I would want something to work on walking around the parks while we were at Disney. And so I decided to pull one of my Disney skeins. I actually pulled it and split it in half. So this is Fangirl Fibers. It was the full skein from her 2021 Disney Advent Calendar. I can't remember the name of it, but mine had a funny mislabel. It was like, why won't Karen take me to Disneyland or something like that. It's a really pretty color. It's knitting up great. I've got it in my 50-gram yarn cozies. And you can see I cast on both socks. So I cast that one on, knit like a round, and I haven't done anything else on it. But I did work on this sock. So I've done quite a bit. I'm working on my heel right now. I don't do a very long leg, just about 40 rounds. So I did 2x2 ribbing, 40 rounds-ish, and then I'm working on my Fish Lips Kiss heel. So this sock is almost halfway done. But yeah, it'll be nice just to have a simple project to bring around. I should finish this up because I know this coming weekend we're going to be going to the movies, and it will be nice to have this one on the foot. So maybe once I finish the heel on this one, I will move over to the second sock and work on that one. I have this in my Malia Made It bag, which I always take with me around the parks. I carry like a little backpack, and then this has a snap on it, a ribbon snap, and I just snap it onto there, and it hangs kind of by my hip. so I can stand in line and work on the project. Oh, I also have some fun markers, also from the Yarn Dyer Fangirl Fibers. I know it's kind of hard to see today. I'm actually having, because the sun is like right overhead, I'm actually having a hard time seeing the camera. There we go. Isn't that such a fun marker? I can't remember if this one came in the Advent or if it came in the 50th anniversary kit that I have from her. So I just can't remember right now, but it's definitely from Fangirl Fibers. Okay, I believe that is all of my projects right now. Again, I'm super proud of myself for finishing 2 things. I'm gonna get them, I'll probably get the ends woven in on this tonight. I just finished it in the car yesterday and then didn't feel like knitting last night because we got home late. So I'll probably finish that up so that it's ready to block. Try to clean up my project bags as much as possible. I like to make it easy on myself when we get back home to unpack. It's already enough to unpack all the clothes and toiletries and stuff. I don't want the knitting to be hard. So get that all ready for myself and then probably work on my sweater a lot tonight. And in the car tomorrow, we have another 18-hour road trip ahead. So I'll probably knit on my sweater during the day when I have daylight. Oh, I do have my, I just have my whole entire knitting bag. I have my necklight. I love this thing. If I can remember to do it, I'll link it below. But if I don't remember to do it, my Amazon storefront is always linked down below. And I have this in there under notions and tools, I think. But this is great. It's like 15 bucks. You put it on your neck and then it has little lights that you can bend and angle. I actually find that I like to use it when I'm eating in the car in the dark too, because then I can see what I'm doing. So I'll wear it while I'm eating and while I'm knitting. But yeah, probably sweater in the car tomorrow, socks when it gets dark. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to just being back in New York. I don't want to leave here yet, but it'll be nice to just be home, be unpacked, and get to spend some time this upcoming weekend with my new projects. Let's talk about plans and dreams. It's the first podcast of a new month, March, and I love March. March is one of my favorite months for a lot of reasons. It's spring is coming. Kent and I both celebrate our birthdays in March. March is it feels like such a long month after February, which is nice. As a teacher, it was always spring break during March. So yeah, I like March. March is exciting. So plans and dreams. I'm going to talk first about kind of my project plans for the month. And then I'm going to share some of the patterns that I've seen that I know I won't get to, but that I've really been liking this month. So let's review my February plans. My February plans, I wanted to knit from stash. About 4.5 skeins per month is my goal right now so that I can eliminate my stash by the end of 2022. I wanted to start on my next pattern design. That was it actually. There was 2 goals. So I actually was able to do both of these. I did a stash review last podcast, episode 132. I will do that at the end of the month throughout this year because, again, this is my goal to eliminate stash. And I started several projects. Actually, this one right here, I'm kind of already counting my sweater as 4-ish skeins, and then I knit a hat. Which was 1 skein. So basically I was able to knit that or meet that stash goal with a couple of projects in February. Obviously when I finish them up, they will really be done, but getting them started, I think for me is just getting them out of stash, right? Starting a project gets it out of stash. And then I started and am currently testing a pattern, my playtime cowl, which I will share more about in news because it is coming out this month. So yeah, February plans went well. So I think the trash truck may be coming. What is that, Toaster? He's looking at me. Again, this is going to be a kind of a crazier episode. Okay, March plans. My plan for March is to get crazy with crochet because our membership make-along this month is crochet themed. So for the Love and Stitches membership, which is a, oh gosh, I don't think it's the trash. I think there's a neighbor right behind us doing some yard work. It's Tuesday. Why aren't people at work? Just kidding. I'm sure that there's a reason why they're home. Maybe they don't work. Maybe they're retired and they're like getting their stuff done. Anyway, March plans. So our 11 Stitches membership make-along for the whole quarter has been to try it. So in January, we tried cables. So anyone who hadn't done cables before or anyone who wanted to improve their cables, we did cable patterns. And then in February, we did color work and we did the Sweetheart socks and we did the All Together Now cowl. Where did mine just go? It fell. The All Together Now cowl that I was showing earlier. And then this month we are focusing on crochet, which I'm very excited about because I know we have a lot of members that don't crochet or have tried crochet and felt frustrated. So I'm hoping to get more people crocheting, and a lot of our crocheters in the membership are so excited because this is like their time to shine and show off their crochet skills. Actually, they're like really pushing me already to expand my skills because one of the patterns we picked for the month is Tunisian crochet, and that is something that I'm not familiar with. So we are going to have an interview with Toni Lipsey, who's TL Yarn Crafts this month in the membership, and I'm just sharing that to kind of give background on like why I'm choosing these different patterns. So basically, for March, one of the patterns we've picked for the membership is the float tote. It's really great for new crocheters. You need some basic skills like single crochet, chain stitch, of course, and crocheting in the round. So if you're a new crocheter, I would suggest trying out my free pattern, the Tulle Kitchen Scrubby. You don't have to use tulle. You can just use like any yarn you have and practice those skills. If you've never crocheted in the round before, try that first. I have a full video tutorial on it too, so it's really nice to like check and make sure you're going into the right places. You know, that's what's so hard about crochet, I think, is not knowing if you're doing the right thing. So the Tulle Kitchen Scrubby is a great way to start, and then you can go into the float tote from there. So we're doing the float tote. So I went over to Joann's here in Florida because it's just much easier to go yarn shopping here with a car and everything. And I picked out yarn for my float tote. I was really pleased. They had a ton of sugar and cream colors, which doesn't always happen. So I picked out these two colors. I think that's gonna be so fun. This will be the bottom of my tote and this will be the top. I almost always choose ecru. Sometimes ecru is a little darker. There's ecru and then there's like soft ecru, which is a little more light. This one's a little bit more tan, I guess. So just check on that. And then this color is called Orchid. I really like this color. I was torn because there was a dusty rose, but I couldn't not get this color because I haven't seen Orchid before in person. And so that's what I got. So I got the supersized skeins and I'm gonna make the 3 skein float tote. So you need two of the contrast color and 2 of this color and 4 of this color, I think. I think I got the right thing. I can't remember which one's called the main and which one's called the contrast. The main might be the color because you start with it on the tote, but I can't remember. It's all in the pattern. So I'm gonna be doing that this month. And then the other thing that we're gonna do, we picked a secondary pattern for people who were already they already crocheted or they just didn't wanna make the tote. We picked the Party Punch shawl, which is by TL Yarn Crafts, Toni Lipsey, who we're going to be interviewing in the membership. And it is Tunisian crochet. So I've been researching Tunisian crochet hooks. I've been watching a lot of Toni's videos on her channel, and I am between 2 kits. I just need to like sit down and look at them today and decide which one and go ahead and place an order. I just want to go ahead and get a Tunisian crochet set and have all of the hooks. Okay, this is getting very loud, so I think I'm going to pause and come back in a minute, hopefully when this is done. Okay, hopefully it's not so bad. They're still behind me doing stuff, and honestly, as soon as I hit record, it like got a little louder, but we're gonna push through and just hope that it is good enough. You can hear at least me a little bit. Turn up the volume maybe. Okay, so I have shared with you kind of my plan for the month. I do want to do the float tote, the Party Punch shawl. I want to get half of my sweater done. I don't expect to do the whole thing. My socks, I'll work on them. I'm not too worried about it. I'm also planning to cast on a hat and just get some more yarn out of stash, get another warm and cozy hat that I was planning to make. I talked about that in the last podcast, so I'll share more when I do cast it on. But that's kind of the next month. That's a lot of knitting. I think that's plenty. I'll also be making socks as I film for my sock course, so that'll be really fun too. Okay, so as far as things that I have seen, my dreams that I would love to make, but I just know I don't have the time right this minute, doesn't mean I won't make it in the future. Here are some things that have been catching my eye. The first is the Crochet Sea Glass Tee. I have made the knitted version of the Sea Glass Tee. These are both by Wool and Pine Designs. But the crochet version was popping up a lot when my members were talking about crochet projects, and it is super, super beautiful too. I've got like a fuzz on me. I love it. I love everything Wool and Pine Designs. My new sweaters, Wool and Pine Designs. My last sweaters, Wool and Pine Designs. I love them. So doing this crochet sea glass tee is very interesting to me. I think it might be a fun project for the future that I would really enjoy making. And I've never done color work with crochet, so that would be a challenge, a new skill for me. Another thing that I saw on Instagram actually just yesterday is the weekend short socks. No, I think it's weekend shorty socks. I think I have that typed in wrong. Weekend shorty socks by Summer Lee. These are super cute. I saw Whitney of Moonglow Yarn Company repost somebody who was making the summer shorty socks with their leftovers from the Sweetheart sock set. So, you know, when you make these socks, the sock sets, sometimes you have like a little bit of leftovers. What do you do with them? So I think this is a really great way to use up yarn in a different way, but also with any kind of scraps that you have. It's really cute. They're like color blocked shorty socks, and I just love how they look. Like, it's funny how something kind of simple is so effective, and that's how I felt about these socks. I think they're adorable. And then the last thing, I don't think I will ever make this, but it's so brilliant, I just had to share. It's the Great Gingham Raglan by Jessie Maed Designs. I've never made a Jessie Maed Designs garment or any of her patterns, but they're amazing. I love them. I love following her. I think she's a fantastic designer. Cherry on top, I guess, is that she's super size inclusive and very like just a cool person. Like, I just really really like her and enjoy following her. So her gingham top is so cute. I don't think I will ever make, well, I can't say that. I haven't made any of her designs so far because a lot of times they're more dressy and I'm more comfy. And so I just haven't made anything because they, you know, a lot of them look more fitted and more fussy, and they're just brilliant. It's not my style right now, but doesn't mean that in the future I wouldn't make some of them. So very impressive pattern. I think it's so pretty. So those are my plans and dreams for March. Okay, let's talk about some news because we always have lots to talk about here. So the first is I have a new vlog. Tuesday's video was a knitting in the car vlog, knitting and road tripping. I filmed what I packed for the road trip, which you did kind of get to see here, but this was from almost a week ago, actually exactly, oh no, more than a week ago, because I filmed it on Monday. We left on a Tuesday. Today is Tuesday again. So I filmed it like before we went on the trip, what I thought I was going to work on, and so what I plan to bring. So you'll get to see that. You'll also get to see like the road trip down and how we have toaster and things that we saw and stopped at. It's just a short and sweet video, but I think it's fun to kind of see how other people knit and travel. I do have some airplane travel coming up, so I'm thinking it might be interesting to show packing for like a trip on a plane versus a trip in the car. So I'm considering making that into a vlog too. So you can let me know if you're interested in that, but I'll have the vlog linked down below for you to watch. It's about 15 minutes long. The Sweetheart Sock Along is now closed. We finished it up with a Instagram live yesterday. Whitney and I of Moonglow did a live together, so that can be found on my feed on Instagram. The winner we are picking today. I don't have the winner's name right now because we're actually choosing it today, but we will have announced that on Instagram and contacted the winner there. So check that out and see who was the winner. We have like one big prize package, so it's going to be really great. So one make along is ending and another one is starting up soon. Yarnia in New Jersey, they're a yarn shop there, and myself, we are teaming up for a spring shawl make along. This make along won't actually start. The cast on date is on April 4th, but we have a lot of stuff to share leading up to then. So we have just picked the final pattern. We had almost 50 designers submit their patterns. The requirements were like different yarn and like design qualities, but then they had to be a smaller designer. Oh geez, Toaster, be quiet. They had to be a smaller designer, which we defined as having fewer than 25 projects on a pattern on Ravelry. So we wanted to really highlight a lot of designers that are doing great things, but they may not have hit like, you know, there's always like a turning point, I think, in things like that, where like you are recognized and people are catch on to like one of your patterns, and then you are, you know, you get that more, I don't know what the word is I'm trying to think of. You get known, and then people start to work on your patterns, and they grow to love your patterns and trust your patterns. Anyway, so we wanted to bring some designers that you may have not heard of into the light. Toaster. Toaster, stop. Hey, it's okay. Toaster. I think we'll have to cut some of that out because Toaster is barking at a neighbor right now. But anyway, we narrowed down the designs to 3 designers that we thought you would really like their patterns. And then we had a period of voting on Instagram, and we finally released the winner today, which is Outstanding by Christy Archer Designs. So this is a really fun triangular shawl with texture in it, and then it's made for, you can use like scraps or like a mini skein pack, but what we're planning to do, Yarnia is planning to have some 3-color kits. So you can use a main color, and then they'll have 250-gram skeins, one that you can use for the stranded bits and one to use for like the wider border. So you can do whatever you want. You can use any yarn you want, but we will have kits available with signature colors. So the kit that I'm going to be using, that they will have available at Yarnia, and you can also purchase from Yarnia online. Sun is like coming out to play here. Oh my goodness. Wow. Hopefully it goes back behind a cloud here in a second. But it has pink for me and orange for Yarnia, and then this beautiful neutral color. I think they're going to be so pretty together. So you'll be able to choose if you want to use like, you know, if you like orange more, maybe you put orange in the border. If you like pink more, put pink in the border. I think there will be enough yarn to like even alternate in the stranded part and then use one for the border. I think I'll have to check the yardage requirements on that, but it's going to be a fun pattern. We're going to have so much going on within the make along. We're going to be doing like the kits. Yarnia is going to be doing the kits. They're going to have some in-person events. I'm going to be hosting some online events. We're going to be hosting some online stuff together, like getting together on Instagram, getting together on YouTube. And then I'm also going to be having classes throughout the make along. So if you want to join and get some tips, it's not a super difficult pattern, which is great. But if you want to join and get some tips or just some accountability, help. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to move this after this segment. But I will be having that, and all of this information is coming soon. So watch out for it. I will be adding like a page to knittynatty.com with more of that information. Okay, we have the less beautiful view of some of the pool tools behind me, but at least we're not getting blasted by the sun. Still worth it for me to be outside, hopefully worth it for you. It's just so nice to get some sunshine on my arms. I just love it. Okay, we still have a little bit more of news, but these are really quick. So the membership, the Love & Stitches membership, is opening again in April. I will have more details in the coming weeks, but I will have next week a place where you can sign up like with your email if you are thinking about the membership, and I will be sending more information to you. It won't be a lot of information. Like when I did the sock course, if you sign up for that wait list, I sent like a lot of stuff in a short period of time. This will be a little more like spaced out until the actual membership is opening. Sorry, I'm trying to get to something that I just covered up. But basically, oh, there we go. The membership is coming. It's opening again in April, and I will share even more details soon, but I'll kind of just do a reminder every week until then, because it only opens once a quarter. So it will be opening for the April, May, June portion. And then the other thing is that this month on March 18th, I will have a new pattern releasing, the Playtime Cowl. This is a collaboration with Shauna of Raven Moon Dye Works. She used to be Farm Girl Fibers, and it is a crochet pattern. So this is kind of a sister pattern to my Playtime Shawl. So this is the Playtime Cowl. There's a double loop version and a single loop version. It's just like a fun stitch to do, fun and easy and quick. Oh, here we go. Here's my tag for Raven Moon Dye Works. But that pattern is in testing right now, and my testers are finishing them up super quickly. So the pattern is coming out on March 18th, and I will again probably just do a little reminder every week, and when it's released, I'll share even more information. All right. That's all the news, so let's move on to the next segment. Okay, let's talk about life. Clearly a lot has happened in the last week. We're here in Orlando for one more day. We're going back to New York tomorrow, back to the cold weather, but it's been really nice to be here. So the main reason that we came was for the Disney Princess Half Marathon that we did this weekend, but we also come and get to visit my mother-in-law, Kent's mom. His brother lives here too, so his whole immediate family is here. We get to visit with them. We decided to rent a car again and bring Toaster like we did over Christmas, which was great. It's way more affordable than flying and boarding Toaster. When we have a car, we can also like run our own errands, go to Disney when we want. We have annual passes, so coming down here for a trip, we have accommodations with my mother-in-law. We have a built-in vacation because we have passes that are paid for, and it's really quite easy, affordable, and convenient. So we're going to be coming down here, I'm sure, a lot this year. So that was really great to get to come. It's been a working vacation for us. I'm trying to get it more out of the sun. It's been a working vacation for us. I've tried not to work every single day, but I also feel really behind. So I'm trying to learn how to balance those things for sure. So since we've been here, we went to Animal Kingdom for just a couple of hours. It's busy right now at the parks. I think everyone who pushed their vacation off has decided to come now because it's usually not a busy time before spring breakers come, and that just has made it actually very busy. So rides were busy. We didn't ride a lot. We went to Animal Kingdom the day after we got here, and then we did like a big Magic Kingdom day because we hadn't seen the fireworks show there yet, and we had fun. We kind of went around and did like the less popular rides. We did like, well, I guess they're all kind of popular, but like not the thrill-seeking rides. Like we did People Mover, we did the Carousel of Progress. I saw Country Bear Jamboree for the first and last time because I couldn't stand it. I thought it was terrible. And usually I'm like, I'll find a reason to like that somebody would like something, but I thought it was just awful. Country Bear Jamboree, I'm sorry if you're a fan. So that was fun. And then we didn't go to Epcot this time. We didn't go to Hollywood Studios. We just decided not to, and to work and to hang out instead. We also went yesterday and went to the Blue Spring State Park and got to see a manatee in the wild. I mean, they come into the spring from the ocean for the winter time, and so they have like little trackers on them. which I learned that when they go back into the ocean in the summertime, the trackers come off of them. But it's just, you know, manatees are one of those animals that they are endangered, I think. I can't remember which, you know, they're in trouble. I don't remember what level they are. But it's cool that this spring, they're aware of that. They know the manatees come into the spring, and it was just really cool. It's beautiful and lovely. So the big thing that we did was Kent and I completed a half marathon on Sunday. That was crazy. We did train for it, but not a whole lot. Like, I had only run on a treadmill because it's winter in New York. I'd only trained up to 4 miles, and a half marathon is 13.1 miles. And so our goal was just to finish. We wanted to get there super early so that we could be at the front of our group, because we knew if we were at the front of our group, we would have more time overall. Basically, this time there were 5 large groups of people, and then they like feed you through to the starting line, and like your large group becomes smaller groups as they like let so many people start at once. And so from the very, very last people, it's a 3.5 hour pace, or 3.5 hour time block. So if you start like 30 minutes ahead of that, you have 4 total hours, because you run through some of the parks, and if you don't complete it in the time, they will just sweep you. Like, there's a bus that comes and picks you up. Obviously that is okay if that happens, but like, we were so determined just to finish. So what we ended up doing is we did a 2 mile or 2 minute walk, 1 minute run, and alternated that. That's how we trained. We were able to do that for 9 miles, which I was so proud of us. Again, we hadn't run outside. We'd only trained up to 4 miles, and we hadn't run on like pavement. We hadn't run in heat, like none of those things. So luckily it wasn't too hot, because, oh yeah, we woke up at 1 in the morning, left at 2, got there. I think we got there at like 2:30. Then you get on a bus, go to one specific park. So by like 3 o'clock, we were in our corral, and we didn't start till 5:45. So it was very like kind of tedious waiting, but they had like entertainment and stuff. So we started at like 5:45 on the dot, and we finished at 9:15. So we were I think we were actually finished in 3 hours and 25 minutes. We ran. I got away from the sun, and here it comes, finding me again. Good thing we're almost done. Can I keep going this way? I'm just gonna lean like this for the last 5 minutes. What was I saying? We completed it in 3 hours and 25 minutes. I think that was our time. And we stopped running after mile 9 because I hurt my foot. It hurts so bad. I was able to walk the rest of the way, the last 4 miles. And then we ran the last 10th of the mile. And after I did that, I was like, I can barely walk. I was like, my foot hurts so bad. So it's still hurting. I'm icing it and taking care of it. I woke up to like a big bruise on it. So I don't know if it's just needs to recover, if I need to go to the doctor. So when we get back to New York, if it's not feeling better, I'm going to be probably going to the doctor. I really hope it's not like a stress fracture or anything, because that would be a bummer. But anyway, we've had a great week. I'm so happy that we got to come to Orlando, get some sunshine. Toaster got to see his best pal, Bailey, my mother-in-law's dog, and we got to see family. So it was really, really great. We'll be back here soon, so I'm not super sad to leave. I'm excited to get back to New York and get back to work and get back to my routine and everything. Just have that 18-hour drive to go. I haven't been watching a lot of TV this week, but we did start watching Murderville on Netflix. It is hilarious. Basically, it's a silly like murder mystery show, and they bring on celebrity, and some are actors, some are guests, and have them like improv. So everyone has a script or a basic script except for one person, and so they don't have lines, so they like improv and then they interact with them, and it's just super funny. It's 30-minute episodes, makes you laugh, cheesy, lighthearted, so fun to watch. I would definitely recommend Murderville. I hope we watch some more episodes today. And then I'm still reading the 4th Bridgerton book, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. Not as into this one as the others. I'm about 15% of the way through, so maybe it will get, got a bug, maybe it will get more interesting But for some reason, I'm just not into this Bridgerton story as much as the others. So I'm going to read it and then I'll go into the next one. And then if my interest is waning, like maybe I'm not as interested anymore, then I might stop there. But I don't know yet. We'll have to see. Good thing this is the last segment because I've now made it all the way on this side of the couch to stay away from the sun. It's coming over the house. But for my weekly win this week, I'm always just sharing things that I am proud of myself for doing in the past week, big and small. And I encourage you to do the same. In fact, if you want to share your weekly wins in the comments, I would love that. I'm trying to get to a point where I'm like looking at the comments on like when I post a podcast, like going back the next day and like going through the comments then, because if I don't schedule that in, sometimes I forget to do that. And I'm just being honest. Like I really want to do that. I love interacting, but sometimes I like forget until the next week. And I'm like, oh yeah, I asked a question on my podcast. Let me go see what everyone was saying. So share your weekly wins with me. I would love to see that. I think it's so encouraging for others to see that too. And it's so important for you to celebrate yourself. So for this week, my weekly win is of course completing the half marathon. I'm so proud of us, like so proud of Kent and I for signing up for it, committing to it, coming to Florida and doing it. We loved it so much. We're going to sign up for more Disney half marathons and races. I would really like to do a 10K too, because the first 6 miles of the half marathon, I felt great. It was harder after that. So I think, you know, doing more of the 10Ks will only make me stronger to do some of the half marathons. Of course, pending my foot getting better. Other than that, like I felt really, really great during the whole thing. So I think it's just a nice thing to do, to have something to motivate me to run, because I'm not going to probably do it otherwise if I don't have a race coming up. So just so very proud of us for that. Thank you all so much for watching this episode. Next week, we'll be back to normal with normal sound and normal disruptions and normal backgrounds and everything. But I hope you enjoyed getting to see a little bit of something different. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.